I don't know, man. I was gonna get your thoughts first and then give my thoughts, but yeah,
All right.
I don't know. It was pretty
You want me to
frustrating.
go?
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
all right. Um, yeah. So I mean, the first half, um, frustrating. I mean, we left points on the board. Should have been at least 14-7, which would have been fine because we start slow usually, and that's just how we are. And then, I mean, yeah, the first half, I mean, there weren't that many penalties. A couple we wish we could have back. Second half, just, I mean, we came down, we scored, it looked good, everything was fine. And then, uh, offensively, the players aren't the problem. The play calling was the problem. And
Yeah.
Nicky tried to play, he was acting as Michigan. He was trying to act like we were Michigan, putting extra blockers on the field, tight ends, offensive linemen, you name it. And we were running it down their throat. I mean, we had 200 yards rushing or whatever. We ran great. Singleton and Allen were bulldozing people the entire night. I think we might have threw 2 or 3 passes in the second half. I mean, we were playing just to burn the clock out, which I get it. You want to get out of there, but put some style points up, man, or something. Throw the ball down the field. Drew looked fine. I mean, yeah, he missed a couple guys. The field was a little slippery from what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren kind of slipped on that one. That might have been the first catch or the first incompletion he's had all year, and it was catchable, but it was just a little bit behind him. But yeah, defense. They played. What's been happening? They put it up on the TV. I'm sure you saw it. In the second half, nobody's gone over 100 yards on our defense in the second half all year. That continues after tonight. Talk about sacks and tackles for loss. Zane Duran is a vulture. Dennis Sutton looked pretty good. Abdul Carter played really well. He was all over the place, flying around, pass deflection, sack, tackle for loss. The strip fumble at the end, like he was everywhere. AJ Harris had a good game. That back in the block by Zion Tracy pissed me off. There was no reason for it.
Oh no.
AJ Harris was in front of everybody. He was taking that thing back regardless. You don't just push a guy. So that was annoying. But because of that, Katron Allen got a touchdown, which that's only his second rushing touchdown of the year. So I'm happy for him. He was bulldozing people. He does the kick the door down type of celebration. Gotta love that. The corners, they played pretty well. I mean, because the defensive line dominated and make Luke Altmaier, they made him uncomfortable most of the game. So, yeah, they completed a couple passes, but 16 for 25, 185. A lot of that was garbage time at the end. That's not a good stat line. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, whatever, And Drew didn't have a touchdown because he wasn't given the chance to really get one. So, I don't know. Overall, I'm not too worried. I know Nicky, his play calling up to this point was really good for the most part. So I'm not worried. I think next week against UCLA, he'll try to air it out some, but I don't know. That it just wasn't in the game plan. So like, I'm mad at him for calling nonstop runs, but that was his game plan to wear them down, and it worked to win the game, but it didn't work for us to. I mean, we would have covered. Which I'm kind of glad we didn't cover, only because I bet against it. I took the plus 19 Illinois because I figured they would put up more of a fight than 7, but clearly they didn't. So, what's up, Brett? Gareth Brooks.
Well, first, yeah, who was that?
Not sure actually.
But yeah, well, check in.
What's going on?
I'm gonna check. I want to check the Alabama score real quick.
Yeah, my dad just texted me, said, "You watching the game? They must be coming back or something."
It's let me see. What's the score?
Oh, it's my boy Dom. Hey Dom, what's up, dude?
So
how you doing, man?
It's 41-34, Dom.
It's 40 what?
41-34 Bama.
Jesus, they came back like crazy.
Yeah, I had some people asking me today, like, who to bet on, and I said take Bama money line.
So real quick, oh, Jalen Reed sack, Kobe King sack, Abdul Carter 1.5 sacks, Tony Rojas half a sack, Dennis Sutton sack, Smith Vilbert half a sack, 7 sacks. I mean, dude, they went all out. I mean, that's just nuts.
Well, the thing
Tackles
about
for
Abdul
loss.
Carter is, he had 7 total tackles, 3 solo, and 1.5 sacks. Technically, I think he had 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. And here's the thing, man. Like, overall,
crazy.
The play calling, it's not the players, man. Drew Aller I think he looked great. I mean, his vision is insane. The windows he's throwing into, the way he looks off the defenders, I mean, he's looking really good. Like, he's making NFL plays tonight. He looked good. Drew Aller is a different quarterback than what we've seen in the past, man. Like, he's phenomenal. I'm really happy with that. The run blocking, again, could have been better. I mean, I have the stats up right now, but the run blocking, I think, is going to be our weak spot going forward, and it might be that might be picked apart at some point, but
I mean, they were dominating. I don't know. I mean, it looked pretty good overall.
Yeah, like, not the whole game. I want to see – I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but I want to see Singleton and K-Tron be able to break one out. And I don't know. They can't get past that second and third level. I'm not sure why. I think what they try to do is they try to set up Singleton like they did Saquon, where once he gets to the second and third level, they let him do his thing. Nick Singleton is not Saquon Barkley. He's not shifty like that. He's pretty much a north and south guy with speed. He's not a shifty guy. So when you get him into the second and third level, he's not going to juke anyone out. Like, I don't know how they can possibly do it. Maybe take a lineman or two deeper downfield, but they have to give that guy a little bit of enough room to where he can break away. But it's frustrating not seeing that. But they called the wrong plays at the wrong times, man. Like, on that 4th down, on that 4th and 3, just run the ball. On 3rd and 7, pass the ball. Instead of running it. It's pretty annoying when they're calling these stupid plays at the wrong time. I mean, it's horrible.
And I think they did it because they wanted to give Xander, is that his name? Our kicker, he's awful. They wanted to give him another shot at like 40 yards, and he couldn't even make that. So I don't know, man.
Dude, I swear, if they don't get it, like if they don't bench that kid,
they're gonna bench him now.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, man, because he's
they're gonna have to.
And I hate to say that about my own team, but he cannot kick anymore.
He can't kick in the game. He can practice kick all he wants, but in the game he can't kick. That's the problem. So you got to put Ryan Barker, the walk-on. He actually kicked our last extra point. It was Ryan Barker. Yeah. He's a walk-on kicker. Put him in there, or put the transfer we got from Tulsa. Forget his name at the moment, but put one in there.
The number one kicker in his class? Wasn't he the number one kicker in his class?
2 or 3 years ago when he came in. Yep,
I mean, it's so bad.
He's got the leg. He can kick far, but his accuracy is not good.
And I don't get it, man. He's at home. Like, he doesn't even have the crowd against him. I mean, you go on the road against USC or whoever, and you got him out there. I have zero confidence that he can hit a kick. So he can't kick anymore, man. Like, that's it. Like, get him in there for some extra points, maybe, but you can't trust him. You cannot trust him. Like, they need to do something about that. I don't know what they can do with him in college. Like, the NFL, he'd probably be cut. He'd probably be gone by a long shot.
after 240, 41-yard kicks or whatever they were.
I mean, I definitely can't hit those kicks, but if you're a college kicker and you can't hit 2 40-yard field goals, then I don't know what to tell you, man. And that's what
you have a scholarship. You have a scholarship. So, I mean, you got to make them.
Exactly.
Back to the Singleton thing real quick. What I didn't like was that one play. Do you remember? All he had was one guy to beat, and he's gone. It would have been a touchdown. He couldn't beat him. He couldn't, like you said, he's not shifty. He just tried to run through him, and he didn't get a good angle. Other than that, he played a good game. I mean, he had almost 100 yards, Allen had 104 or something. Yeah, he had 94. They both were past 5 yards per carry, so they both had good games. But
Yeah.
You said you wanted to see like the long run. Well, Singleton was getting long runs on the first couple games. He just didn't get one in this game. But you got to give Illinois credit. They were on the defense. They were playing defense the majority of the second half, if you think about it. And I mean, they were getting gutted run wise, but they were stopping us enough to not score points in the red zone. So you got to give them credit. But we could have took advantage of that, like I said, if we would have threw the ball at least once or twice.
Yeah, overall, like at the end of the day, man, like stupid penalties, offsides at the worst times. I mean, Abdul at the end of the night had a pretty good game, but he was offsides. Then I was offsides. I mean, stupid penalties, blocking the back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and then he threw that ball to Julian Fleming, and he.
He was getting rushed. So he just had to.
I'll just say, as a receiver, you got to know where the first down marker is, and I'm pretty sure that's his job to make sure he's at the first down marker, because Drew threw the ball to him, and he was well behind it, and then he tried to like go through that guy, and you, I mean,
the guy made a good tackle. The guy made a good tackle, but if Drew would have had that pass back, if he had a second more time or whatever, he wouldn't have threw it. He threw it behind because that's all he could do at the moment. Julian had to go out for it, which cost too much time. If he would have been to him, that would have gave Julian more time to turn around, and he would have had a first down. But Julian had to take time to go get the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like catching it in stride wasn't a possibility because they had a free rusher come out. So it was a good defensive play. But it was just a bad play call. The play before that, 3rd and 7, they ran the ball. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, put this nail in the coffin, dude. Put the nail in the coffin right now.
Yeah, there's other times where they could have easily been up by 10 points, and they went for it. And then when they didn't go for it, they missed the field goal. But, like, there was a couple of times where they could have kicked the field goal and they didn't. Yeah. And that was before we knew that he was going to be 0-2 on the night. But Drew was 15 for 21, 135 yards. K-Tron had 100 yards. Singleton had 94. Both had touchdowns. Warren had a touchdown. Wait, what? The team had – what does that mean? What is that? You see that? It says the team had -2 yards?
Maybe. I don't know what the heck that is.
I think Mina Kimes wrote up these stats on ESPN.
I don't
I have no idea what that means.
I don't know.
It says team won for -2. Maybe that means like sacks. I don't know.
Maybe if it meant negative rushing yards for Drew would show negative rushing yards, but he doesn't. He had a couple carries, and he even with a sack or two, he still had 15 yards rushing. So I don't understand what that is, but we'll just throw it out.
Like I said, I think Mina Kimes wrote them up. So we got Harrison Wallace, 4 receptions, 50 yards, no passing touchdowns, which again, man, like I like that we were running the ball. I think we should have done that most of the night, but they just call these stupid calls at different times.
At stupid times. Yep.
And again, Drew did fine. I mean, I think he looked good. Some of the throws he made in windows, that's a college quarterback right there. I mean, that's NFL. That's NFL football that he's playing tonight. And then the running game, I mean, there's only so much they can do. I mean, the O-line, I think no matter what, I think they can improve. The running blocking is just, it could be better. I mean, we had Drew Shelton had a penalty or two. I mean, just dumb penalties here and there, man. It's just it's going to catch up to you. And then if you're playing, and I do think Illinois is a good team. I mean, they beat Nebraska at Nebraska. That is very, very hard to do. I don't even know if Penn State could do that.
Our defense made them look very average. That's how good our defense played tonight, dude.
Our defense is now. Our defense. If you watch the game, man, like I feel like our defense didn't look that good, but they actually did pretty good. I mean,
in the first half, second half, they played off the charts. I mean, if you think about it, that was our best defensive performance all year by a long shot. Like overall, like as a whole game, look at the sacks, look at the tackles for loss. They got the pick at the end, man. Like they put the nail in the coffin. Should have had a pick six.
Yeah. I mean, What it comes down to, man, is they had a lot of dumb penalties, and the play calling was dumb in the sense that they didn't call the right stuff at the right time. I honestly, as a fan, I'm watching it and I'm like, why are you calling that there? Or why are you doing this here? Or why are you doing that there? And then when you're returning a pick six and you block a guy in the back, it's
He's
like
not even
that
close
is the most
to the guy.
That's the most like obvious penalty you can do in sports is a block in the back. I mean, I don't get it.
I saw it too. I saw it in real time, and I was like, I hope the refs didn't see it, but obviously I knew it was coming back. I was like, come on, dude. The linebackers look good. I mean, Kobe King, Tony Rojas, they look great. Even Tamir Robinson looked pretty good. Zane Durant is insane, dude. I don't know. He looked great.
Zane Durant. The thing about Zane Durant is like he's massive and
he's a brick house.
And like the stuff that he does, I mean, you know, when you talk about D1 football, man, he's a definition of a D1 football player. I mean, he's big, he's shifty, he's fast, and then you have like
he's only a junior.
I mean, and then that penalty on Tony Rojas.
That was dumb. He didn't have to do that.
I understand
He'd knock the heck out.
I understand knocking a guy off his route. I mean, that's basic football, but he just like tackled him. And it's like, what do you think is gonna come of that when you do that? And I mean, what do you not know the rules or what?
The problem was that guy, Tony Rojas, would like push him out of the way to get to the quarterback, but that guy wasn't even paying attention to Tony Rojas. He was like looking at the quarterback. Like Tony Rojas could have went right around him and tackled Altmaier, and that would have been fourth down.
Well, if Altmaier threw it to him, he would have picked it right off too. That's another thing.
What's crazy is if they wouldn't have had that bad snap in the red zone, they would have scored a touchdown on us. They would have. It would have been 14-14, man. They had that bad snap and set them back, and then we just started killing them. So that was a critical play too. The bad snap.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, like obviously you give Illinois credit. I mean, there's no doubt you give them credit. The fact that they were doing that with us, I mean, is pretty impressive. I mean, early on, man, you know, I said if you're going to take a bet, take the over. And I don't think the weather was that much of a factor tonight. I mean, the field might have been a little wet, but I mean, it was 7-7 in like the first half of the first quarter. And I'm thinking, well, the over's going to hit. And then 21-7 is the final score. I mean, it, you know, at the end of the day, man, it really at the end of the day, this is what it comes. This is it. The coaching was. I just don't get it, man. I don't understand the play calling on offense, and that's what it came down to. It wasn't the players. It really wasn't the execution of the plays. That's really what that's it. The play calling was bad. Yeah. I mean, it looks bad. They just called stuff that I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense. I mean,
Tyler Warren was taking too many snaps as quarterback. Like, I get a play or two, like it works, but he took like 5 or 6 like plays under
Why
center.
Why do they have Bo Cabiola in there randomly? Here's the thing, man. When you have a cold backup quarterback coming into a game like that, and he's taking the ball, running it, throwing it, whatever. First of all, he's cold. Okay, he's not in there the whole game. There is such a thing as like game speed, and I mean, when you're out there, man, when you're out there and you're playing, like you have, you know, you got the sweat going on, like, you know what the rhythm of the game is, you know what you're looking at, and then you bring in a cold backup, and he's out there running the ball around. I mean, he could fumble, he could throw an interception like he did last week, and then you got the tight end again, like you just said, at quarterback. Not only that, man, but they have their starting quarterback at receiver, which do you know how dangerous? If I'm a defender, okay, and I'm going up against Penn State, and I see the starting quarterback lined up at receiver, I don't care if I'm getting a flag. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to clean his clock. I'm gonna knock him out. I mean,
why
not, man? He's a sitting duck out there by himself.
He's pretty big. I mean, it'd be hard to.
He is, but you know what I'm saying, man?
Good. I know what you're saying.
Dude, he's the starting quarterback.
I don't even know why he's standing there. Like, just take him off the field if you're bringing him in. I mean,
I have no idea. And then they took was it Sal Wormley in motion? And it's like, huh?
Vega Lawane. They put him in motion.
It's like, huh? Okay, so they're sending a guard in motion across the field. I wonder where the ball's going. Probably wherever that guy's going. That's where the ball's going. I mean, it's like, I don't know, dude. I just
still, but he's a beast. You got to block him. He's
absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's a big dude, but at the end of the day, like I keep repeating myself, but dude, just to finish, like what I have to say, it's just I'm not pleased with the performance. I mean, again, like Jared said last week, they haven't showed dominance, man. Like I just feel like they don't have an identity yet, and I just feel like it's going to catch up to them at some point. Yeah. Like USC, Ohio State, I just feel like it's got. And the only thing keeping us alive is the fact that we have so much talent. That's the only thing keeping us alive right now, because we don't have an identity yet, man. We just don't. The identity is not there. I mean, what is our identity on offense? What's our identity?
Yeah, I mean, this game took us further away from the identity because the way they called the game, they just ran the ball in the second half.
What are they doing, dude? Like, what is their plan on offense right now? I honestly don't know what they're trying to do.
If the way they called it, like I said, was good for certain reasons, but if you're going to do that, if you call 5 more passing plays at those moments where we needed them, and you get completions, like this game looks way different. Like I wouldn't have been mad. If you call, like Drew had in the first, I wish you could see how many passes in the first half. He threw most of his passes. He threw 2 or 3 passes the whole second half. Like you can't not do that. Like you can't not pass the ball, man. Like I can't say it enough. Oh, by the way, real quick, Alabama went down the field, or no, Georgia went down the field, threw a pick in the end zone. Game over. They would, if they would have scored a touchdown, would have been